Hi. Um, I just wanted to make some comments about Alex's response. I thought he made some really great observations about um, the hospital there, or the rehabilitation center. I don't know what they called them at the time, that there was a community there of men who were supporting each other. Um, and that the one gentleman, when Brando's character talks about not being a joiner, was trying to have him be more involved in the a disabled veterans group, which, if you notice, when his behavior was not so good and they were deciding whether to kick him out or not, it was the consumers, or it was the actual gentleman from the disabled veterans group who made decisions versus sort of the administrative staff. I think that these men in particular really were changing the culture of disability, um, and sort of defining disability. So some of those moments in the film were a real change from how things were. Disability was very hidden and separated from the world. And when these men came back and were deciding how to live, um, because of their sort of status that Dr. Rainey talked about, because they were considered more worthy disabled, and that they had a voice in how things might change, and so were really pioneers in reforming healthcare and reforming sort of the community um, around disability. So you see some of those moments in the film, and I think Dr. Rainey talked about a writer who had been mistaken as a vet at the Vietnam Memorial, which is unfortunate. But I think that the difference is Vietnam. I think a lot of the popular culture sort of representations of Vietnam veteran are in a chair, and I think there's a real difference between the veterans of World War II and the veterans of Vietnam around disability. Um, and our current folks coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq are going to redefine disability again for all of us, um, because on some level we're all implicated in their injuries because we sent them off to war. So I think that using soldiers in particular in a film is a different tool, because it's a relationship that all of us are sort of in. So it's not just Ellen um, who's grappling with what Ken is going through, but it's also all of us, because we're implicated. And in general, um, the medical industry has benefited from war, and really has. I mean, their bodies don't stop being part of public property as soldiers when they're in battle, but when they come back, we're using their bodies to advance medicine. Um, and I can already see how the soldiers coming back with injuries are changing everything. I was at Disney World with my kids. I know that's probably bad. I shouldn't say that I've done that, but we were. And there was a young man who had this amazing prosthetic, and it wasn't trying to be a leg. It was like, it looked like sporting equipment. It was like a deep purple, and it was really lightweight, and he had shorts on, so he was not hiding it at all. And it wasn't about, it was more about function and helping him to be, clearly the athlete he was before, and then afterwards. I mean, he was moving so much, with much more comfort than the sort of old prosthetics were just awful. So I already see chair design and prosthetic design changing because of the massive numbers of bodies coming back that are as a result of war, that need or are requiring or asking for different kinds of things so they can move and do things. So there's all these great blogs out there, but there are disabled veterans who are, just not at all. I mean, they really are changing sort of the culture, and they will change the culture because of just the mere numbers. That's my cat jumping up. So I just wanted to add that. So I appreciated Alex's perspective on the film.